Hi everyone, my name is Ellie. I have a story for you. I'll tell you right away. It's not for the faint of heart. Do you believe that the souls of the dead can live on? That they can communicate with you? It may sound strange, but that's exactly what happened to me. Anyway, listen and watch. By the way, like and subscribe to the channel. It's right there, the red button. I had a boyfriend. His name was Dylan. We were very much in love. You could say both our first loves. We were often told that we even looked alike. This only brought us closer together. One day, Dylan decided to go to a festival with some other programmer friends in another state. He was just learning how to program, and he wanted to get to know the inner workings of the field better. In addition to seeing another city, he's due to arrive in a week, and I've been waiting for him. While he was there, I went about my usual business, as it was summer, and I was at my mom's beauty salon. And then a week went by. Dylan and his team were supposed to be back, but his phone was disconnected. I called, I wrote, but I couldn't reach him. I didn't have the numbers of the other guys. The day before they left, he had texted that they would be leaving early in the morning in a car. I waited all day, and then some more. My nerves gave out. I started to worry. There were so many unanswered calls and messages from me. I was ready to tear him up when I saw him. Full of anger, I went to his house to give him a slap on the head. But the first thing that surprised me was the open door to the house. I went in, but there was no one there. It was so quiet, it was even creepy. I went inside, called out for him, but no one answered. Suddenly, their phone rang. I knew it was wrong to pick up the phone at someone else's house, but it was so weird that I answered it. Before I could say hello, someone on the other end of the line was muttering so quickly. "I'm sorry, Stephanie. I heard about Dylan. I'm sorry. He was such a young boy, with his whole life ahead of him." And then they burst into tears and hung up. Chilling blood coursed through my veins. My knees shook, and my chest burned. I gasped. I couldn't believe it. Was he really dead? My Dylan? Then I heard a car pull up. I ran outside. It was his mom, Mrs. Stephanie, with Dylan's dad. I ran out to them. They weren't even surprised that I was in their house. I stood silently on the doorstep and looked hopefully into their eyes. Mrs. Stephanie came closer to me, also looking into my eyes without a word. And then her face changed into a grimace of pain and despair. She screamed so loud it almost made my ears pop. And then she hugged me and held me to her. That's when I knew it was the end. I just stood there with her in my arms and roared out of breath. For the first time, I felt the acute, indescribable pain of losing a loved one. According to Dylan's mom, he and the boys went to the festival. Everything went well. They were going to go home, but the night before the trip, the boys went into a bar and had some drinks. And then, the boys fell down and that was it. We were told it might have been poisoning, but what they were drinking wasn't sold at the bar. Apparently, someone brought it to them, or maybe they bought it there offhand. Who knows? All four of them died on the spot. I couldn't believe Dylan could drink something so vigorously. It wasn't like him at all. All the guys were brought back to our town for forensics, but before that, there was a lineup. I also went in to make sure it wasn't another person, but unfortunately, it was him. My Dylan. Barely able to contain my nausea, I ran out of the morgue. The funeral was the next day, and I left his mobile phone in his coffin, because that was the last time we'd spoken. With the iPod playing our favorite playlist, I couldn't believe what was happening at all. I thought it was a dream. After the funeral, I withdrew into myself. I didn't communicate with anyone. The only person I wanted to talk to and constantly send messages and audios was to Dylan. Every day, from morning to the evening, I texted him like normal days. April 17th. "Hey baby, how are you doing? Hope you're doing okay. What time do you want to meet up today?" April 18th. "Good morning, baby. Last night was magical. I really miss you already. Hope to meet you today. Bye-bye. Looking forward to hearing from you. Will you come to my place for dinner? I'll make your favorite, ravioli. I need you. How could you leave me? You promised you'd come back. And where are you? Where are you now? What am I going to do here alone? Do you realize what you've done? I hate you. I hate you. I'm sorry. I just miss you. I can't do it without you, Dylan. I can't let you go. And I won't. Do you hear me? So don't let go." What? My mind raced. What is it now? There was, "You have a message from Dylan." Message on my phone. I rubbed my eyes, went to get a drink of water, washed my face, and picked up the phone again with trembling hands. I texted again. Who is this? It's me, your boyfriend. Are you joking? It's not funny. I'm going to call the police. Suddenly the phone rang. I got so scared that I didn't pick it up. That's impossible. It just doesn't happen, does it? I crawled into my bed and covered myself with a blanket out of fear and tried to get back to sleep, but I couldn't. And then my phone rang again. I had all sorts of thoughts in my head, like maybe he was looking for me from the other side. What if he needed something from me? Then I got a text message again. Ellie, pick up the phone. I need your help. And then the phone rang again. This time I picked up the phone. I pressed the button and very quietly, slowly put the phone to my ear and just listened. From there, I heard Dylan, faint, barely audible, saying, help me, Ellie, I'm alive. And then the call went off. The phone was disconnected. I didn't know if it was just a hallucination or if the receiver was dead and he was really alive. I ran to the bathroom, washed my face, caught my breath, and then decided to go tell my mom. As I turned around in the bathroom, I hit the phone and it fell into the toilet with the water. The smartphone never turned on. My mother did not believe my words. On the contrary, she was even scared for me, gave me some sedatives, and told me to go to bed. I pretended to take them, but ran away from home and drove towards the cemetery, stealing my dad's car. Armed with a shovel, I started digging up Dylan's grave. I was scared. I wasn't sure of anything, but I knew for sure that I had heard his voice. I started digging, and it took a long time, almost all night. It wasn't until morning, when I was exhausted, that I felt something hard with the shovel. At last, it was the coffin. With my hands, I scraped away the earth, but could not get the lid to open. I started banging on it, but there was silence in response. I knocked again, and silence. Hey, miss, what are you doing in there? Came a voice. Oh shit, the cops caught me. And I heard them talking on the radio about a teenage girl digging up someone's grave and trying to exhume the body. She's probably stoned or drunk, he said over the radio. And then I shouted, hey, it's okay, it's just my boyfriend got buried by mistake. I'll just dig him up and go home, okay? Only then did I realize I'd said something stupid. Although anything I wouldn't have said at the time would have looked stupid. I continued banging on the coffin, but the police came down to me and tried to calm me down. When I saw them, I threw the shovel at them and told them I wasn't leaving here without the coffin. He's alive. Dylan texted me. He's alive. Open the coffin. But he grabbed me, handcuffed me, and lifted me up, trying to get me out. Suddenly, a knock was heard. And then more. The policemen began to baptize themselves. One of them stood like a pillar and could not move. What are you standing there for? Shovel now, I yelled. They immediately rushed to help me. We opened the lid of the coffin and Dylan rose from it. He held out his arms and took a deep breath. The police shouted and just ran out of fear. I picked Dylan up and put my arms around him. I shouted to him, oh my God, you're alive, you're alive! If you hug me like that, I'll lay back down and die, but for good. Sorry. Are you okay? For someone who's been in a coffin alive, I've been better. Sorry. Can you stand up? At this time, the cemetery guard saw everything and saw that I pulled a dead man out of the coffin, and he went to hug me and shouted. Whilst crying, he got down on his knees and said, God, I promise I won't drink anymore. I'll get sober. I'll stop stealing. We got closer to Dylan. You drink a drop and you'll be like me in that grave. The man fainted, and we went looking for the phone. Anyway, those guys turned out to be alive too. They drank some kind of drug that significantly lowers their heartbeat for a few days. They ended up taking too much. They're all in the hospital now, on the mend. So listen to your heart, dears. It won't let you down, and don't give up. If you liked the video, leave a like and comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe.